Welcome and welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm 𝐥𝐤𝐤, your medicine woman, and today we're going to be going over how to really heal the throat chakra. If you're someone that has a hard time communicating, maybe you've been noticing that there's been a lot of phlegm in your throat, or that you just know that this is a chakra that your soul is meant to expand and learn from, then this video is really going to support you. I'm going to go over 3 practices that I do on a daily, as well as those that I teach for many of my clients that have supported them, and I hope they support you as well. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells so you do not miss a video. And if you're interested in working with me, go down below in the description. You'll see a link to my website, and I have everything from plant medicine retreats, learning how to work with me one-on-one, as well as trainings, courses, and so much more. So allow your heart to guide you through the many offerings that are there. I also have even a throat chakra course that is really, really supportive called 𝐸𝐵𝑖S, which is amazing. It's the 𝐸𝐵𝑖S workshop. It talks about stepping into the power of the throat chakra. So if you want to go a little bit deeper than this, then you can go and sign up for that course. Okay, let's get into how to really heal the throat chakra. I feel like there's a lot of information about the throat chakra, but I really think that getting to the root of healing it, especially if you are someone that finds this chakra constantly is imbalanced, or maybe you are shifting the way that you really share your boundaries, communicate to your loved ones and people around you, this is an important chakra to balance, right? Throat chakra is the chakra that is blue. It's also in the center of our throat right here. And this is where we communicate, right? This is our sense of channeling. If you're someone that has the gifts of channeling, mediumship, clairaudient, speaking out light language, different types of frequencies, then this chakra is a very important chakra to practice and also to support you. So I made a small little list for you guys so I don't forget everything. And let's start with the first way of how to heal your throat chakra out of these beautiful 3 ways that I have for you guys. So number 1, activating the throat chakra daily. This is something you can incorporate every single day. It's super simple. Is when you are doing your meditations for your morning, evening, or throughout your day practice, I encourage you to exhale out, sounding out through the mouth, okay? Now the important key of it is the sound isn't meant to sound pretty. Isn't meant to be like, take a deep breath in and exhale. It's not supposed to be in that energy. The purpose of intentionally connecting with our meditation, with our throat chakra when we're meditating, is meditating and focusing your energy on the center of your throat, right here. You'll see it right above your collarbone. Like you can press, it's a very sensitive place, and just tap on it. I'm pressing quite deeply here. But when you are doing this with the throat chakra, before you start, you can even tap on it gently. So use your finger. I usually use the finger beside my thumb, and I just tap on it. Then I go into meditation, and you're going to take a deep breath in. And when you sound, you want to exhale out. And when you're exhaling, it's important to track what that energy feels like. What does the sense of it feel like? And continue to exhale until you have no air out, okay? What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to feel, what does my throat chakra feel? What are the blocks that are here, right? You may feel called to grunt. If there's anger, you may feel called to if there's soft tears. If you feel pleasure, it might feel like a nice sigh. Connecting with it, say, how does my throat chakra feel? Okay. The next step of what you can ask yourself is, what does my throat chakra have to communicate? And you want to vocalize that out loud to practice safe communication within your space of meditation. Okay, it's really important, if you are someone that tends to be a lot in the mind, to always start your communication and expressing your spirit with I feel. This is what's going to allow you to really feel and really to sense the energy and the sound, the vibration, the frequency of what your throat chakra wants to open up, to activate and to shift the energy, right? So you have that power to do that. The ways to actually activate the throat chakra even deeper and expand and heal your throat chakra is also practicing chanting, throat chakra chanting. There's a lot, if you look up on YouTube, a throat chakra chant. If you guys want me to do one, I can do that as well. Let me know with a blue heart emoji, and I can support you with a practice that you could use every day. but there's so many online. Honestly, I just Google and look up throat chakra chanting, and I chant that for 5 to 10 minutes, and it allows me to not only release my throat chakra, but if there's any cords that are energetically blocking connected to other chakras. For example, for a lot of people who feel like their boundaries have been taken advantage of, or maybe they've gone through trauma, then usually a very common cord is a cord connected from the throat to the sacral. In order for your sacral to be fully open, which I have a whole video on how to really heal your sacral chakra, you can go check that out, you need to open your throat. A lot of people don't know that. If your throat doesn't open, it doesn't activate the activation, doesn't open up the life force energy, right? So if your jaw is locked and you're trying to open your throat chakra, which is usually a sign that there's a cord of energy that's disconnected from the throat and the sacral, or the womb, or the hara, okay? So sounding that, and what you do is, as you're doing the meditation, as I mentioned, you're sounding that and you're tuning it in and you're chanting and you're connecting. Then you go into that part and you see and you track where you feel that energy connected to the throat and somewhere else in another chakra space. For example, your throat chakra can also have a cord that's disconnecting, that's imbalancing your throat chakra between your throat chakra and your solar plexus. This is a very common space and energy like connection, I can say, line, because when we do energies, when we look at chakras, it's lines. They're almost like pathways of certain parts of our body, like acupuncture and such, which I go into with somatic people when I work with them one-on-one. So when you go into the throat, you're sounding into the throat and you're seeing, you're feeling, and you're sensing, okay, connected to the solar plexus. I feel there's a pit in my solar plexus and my throat. It's amazing how the body and the throat chakra will communicate with you once you activate it vocally, okay? If you have an imbalance, a connection between the throat chakra and the solar plexus, this has a lot to do about communicating with your power, sense of self, your truth, your authenticity, your reality, right? So these are ways where you say maybe you are not speaking your truth. Maybe you're uncomfortable with speaking who you are, allowing people to hear your voice, right? Why is that? What were the stories, the experiences you have that cause you to feel uncomfortable to do so, okay? Now, the last part, as far as the first way to help really heal your throat chakra, is singing. This has really transformed my life. As someone who grew up singing up until I was 12 years old in a church, that's where I grew up in that space. And then eventually when I, shifted into my own spiritual journey, one of the things I noticed is that voice, that feeling, that singing, that activation is something that each one of us has. Your throat is specifically made to heal you. That is your biggest tool. Something that I learned from an elder, an indigenous elder, is saying that our biggest weapon as a human is our voice, right? And when that voice is activated, it can transmute and ripple into all the other chakras and rebalance them, just through your voice, especially for the souls, that your specific soul meaning, reasoning for being here is to speak your voice, speak your truth, and not be scared of that power of your voice, right? So when we can activate truth in our voice, that can ripple for ourselves, all relations, ancestors, and every relationship we have, to mirror that back to people so they also have the power of their voice, right? So what singing does is it allows us to hit certain frequencies. And an exercise that you can do is start to just sound, and then start to hum, start to feel the hum. You can do this with a drum if you have a maraca, if you want to play instruments. Don't just buy an instrument because I'm saying it here. Your instrument's your voice. So you can do this right now. Start to hum, start to sing, maybe start to channel in, connecting with the center of your throat, and tune into what am I coming in to channel. It could be channeling a release of grief. It could be channeling a release of happiness, anger. It could be a tongue, a light language from your star family that taps into the space, activating you to receive this deep, potent healing for your spirit and your soul. So again, everyone is a singer. Everyone has that power of music, and music heals us. So one of the biggest things and ways that I really help people in my retreats is I teach them and give them opportunities to have a choice an opportunity, an opening to activate their voice. So try it at home, try singing, try humming, try rippling, but be conscious with it with your breath. Sound, and it's not to sound pretty, because unfortunately, and something that I learned was, the music industry is a space where it perfects your voice. The true musicality, the true expression of voice isn't perfection. It is the state of expression. So that brings me to how to heal your throat chakra. What are your beliefs of how your expression should be received, seen, and expressed in general? Where does the mind think about the way it should express instead of saying it and allowing it and trusting your voice will share what it needs to share? Instead of trying to think of who will receive it, how will they see, all those things, we take ourselves out of our truth. And that, if every single person was to activate their voice in this way, everyone would be in their power. The second way to really heal your throat chakra is to connect with a relationship with communication and conflict. This is another really big block I see with a lot of my clients and people I work with. Conflict is an idea that we feel that someone is in disagreement with us. There is a misalignment of what you are sharing and what the other person is mirroring and sharing. Right? Now ask yourself, in the past, how have I dealt with conflict? Have you been avoidant? Have you made yourself small? Have you, allowed yourself to take that personally and say that's what they think about me? These are all ways that blocks our throat chakra. And what is very common for a lot of people is almost like these little jolts that happen in the throat where our throat starts to tighten, our stomach starts to feel a little bit off. And that's a sign that you are probably holding back from something. So one of the biggest tips I can give you is to look up nonviolent communication. This is something that I really share with my clients to practice. What nonviolent communication is: expressing your need, your emotion, and your request as well, and observation, right? What a lot of people do and why their throat chakra is imbalanced is they do the first part. They share the observation of what happened, they share their feeling, but no one really shares their need. And that brings me to this specific question. Do you think your needs are too much? Do you think that there is not enough spaciousness to be able to receive your needs, or to share a release, or to give a need, right? So the relationship of how to heal our throat chakra is usually a block that we don't know how to communicate our need, or we're in misalignment of our need, right? So you have to look at those two things. When we are able to understand it and understand the emotion as to why we think that we're not significant enough to voice our needs, why we think we're not worthy enough to voice our needs, why we think we're not seen enough to voice our needs, whatever it is, why do you think you're to voice your needs, right? This creates a block in our throat chakra and causes miscommunication, where we feel like no one's understanding us, no one gets us. We've all been there. This is why you're watching this video. And taking that feeling in our shadow that it is our responsibility to request that, right? It's not the other person's responsibility, because when we put the other person's responsibility, we put ourselves as a victim, we put ourselves in the shadow, right? And we are waiting for someone to guess our need, right? Some of us as a young child didn't have spaciousness to share our needs or emotions. And that causes us to think that that need is no longer in existence. So it puts us in survival mode. It puts us out of our power. It puts us to feel that we can't create. It puts us in the space that our insight is invalid. It puts us in the space that we're not connected to the divine and unseen, and trusted and supported by the guides that we have, each have. You see how the throat chakra is such a deeper layer than what it is, right? And what I'm sharing in this video is an insight of what it is here. Third tip on how to heal your throat chakra that will really transform your life is throat chakra tapping. Now, this is something that is really potent and kind of goes with the first one that I shared. And right here, you'll see on my throat, I'm just looking at the binder so I can show you, see here, I want you to gently just graze on it. And now I want you to take a deep breath in and sound. just gently go up and down. What this is warming it up. Now you want to make sure you're not putting much pressure, like you're just grazing. Because the throat chakra is so sensitive, we want to be very gentle with this practice, okay? Now, as you're grazing, you are going to start to tap into the space of the throat chakra. So we're going to take the first tip of how to heal the throat chakra, of sounding and meditation, right? Now, this moves from a meditation to a self-healing. So this is why I want to just share with you guys the difference of the first tip of how to heal your throat chakra, of sounding, chanting, activating, grunting, sharing those voices and sounds, and feeling the textures of our emotions that want to be released. This is more of a light somatic retracking, right? A recoding. So what you do is you just graze over, and when you're ready, sounding, taking a deep breath in through the nose, sounding and exhaling, you're going to gently tap. And when you're tapping, putting one finger over the other on the throat, you're sounding. And when you sound, you feel that energy. You might even feel that your throat bone pulls forward because it's feeling that energy move out, right? Just 10 minutes of this can really transform. Now, the biggest key is, as you're doing this, you want to voice out, how am I feeling? What is coming up for me? You also want to voice out, what is it that I believe here? Why am I miscommunicating? So say, for example, you have a conflict with a family member. You go for dinner with someone and they say something that triggers you, and your throat starts to clench, your gut starts to clench. You schedule in your mind, okay, when I get home, I'm going to have a session to do this practice, right? Because one of the biggest tips I'm going to teach you is that healing all chakras, healing anything, when you just let it go, you don't really let it go. It sticks in the body. It stays in the body, right? So you want to go back to that, and you want to sound, and you want to move this. Give yourself 10 to 20 minutes to do this practice. If anything, 30. If it's a really big expression, 30. Get in a comfortable space and do this, and it will very gently. We're not doing it very potently, very like a graze. You don't have to do much, right? Your hands are here to heal you. So when you do this, it's going to open something up. And the purpose of this is to understand what version of me is not expressing and doesn't feel safe to express. When you're done this, to help you integrate, you're going to write down anything that comes up, or even write a letter to that version of you. And you can burn it if you'd like. But this is a very potent practice that can really transform how to really heal the throat chakra. And the reason why people don't heal the throat chakra is because, we are clenching so much here in the facial space. This is why I do a lot of acupuncture healing, and in my retreats, in my one-on-ones, I do a lot of work on the face. And the throat chakra is very connected to the face. So if you're someone who tends to have a lot of cracking jaw, that's a sign that your throat chakra is imbalanced, or maybe there's something you need to work out related to anger and biting your tongue, holding energy, right? So a great way of doing that is just simply putting your hands on your cheekbones and gently rubbing. This is what's going to open up the throat, and you can do this before the meditation, before the gentle tapping, before the connecting with the communication and the difference of conflict. This is what's going to open it up for you, okay? Remember, integration is 85% of healing anything. So journaling, allowing yourself to have spaciousness, allowing yourself to practice. What did your throat chakra, what did your soul share with you that needs to help you balance the energies here? So I hope this video is really supportive for you. Let me know in the comments down below what's the next chakra you would like me to do, or if there's any other video ideas you'd like for me to support you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells, and if you are interested in working with me one-on-one or in my retreats, you can go to my website and apply there. I'm sending you the deepest love, and just knowing that your voice does and will and is deserving to express itself, and it is your biggest gift. See you in the next video.